Sean "Diddy" Combs and Mike Jeffries, two names that once commanded respect and admiration in their respective industries. Diddy, the hip-hop mogul who turned his musical talent into a multi-million-dollar empire. Starting as a young intern at Uptown Records, he quickly rose through the ranks, founding Bad Boy Records and launching the careers of numerous hip-hop stars. His influence extended beyond music into fashion with Sean John, and even into the world of vodka with Ciroc. On the other side, we have Mike Jeffries, the man who took Abercrombie & Fitch from a failing outdoor equipment retailer to a cultural phenomenon. Under his leadership, A&F became synonymous with youth, sex appeal, and exclusivity. Jeffries transformed the brand's image, focusing on provocative marketing and a distinct preppy-with-an-edge style that dominated malls across America in the late 90s and early 2000s. Both men seemed unstoppable, their empires growing year after year. They were living proof of the American dream, until it all came crashing down. The allegations against Sean "Diddy" Combs and Mike Jeffries are as shocking as they are disturbing. Both men, once at the pinnacle of their industries, now face accusations that could destroy everything they've built. For Diddy, the storm began with multiple lawsuits alleging a pattern of sexual abuse and coercion. Over 120 victims have come forward, painting a picture of a man who allegedly used his fame and influence to exploit vulnerable individuals. The FBI's investigation has uncovered evidence suggesting that this behavior spanned decades, hidden behind the glitz and glamour of the music industry. Meanwhile, Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, is under scrutiny for an entirely different, yet equally troubling, set of allegations. The FBI is investigating claims that Jeffries, along with his partner Matthew Smith, orchestrated an elaborate sex trafficking operation. Young men were reportedly lured with promises of modeling opportunities, only to be exploited at lavish parties across the globe. As federal agents dig deeper, the evidence against both men continues to mount. Witness testimonies, financial records, and even digital footprints are piecing together a disturbing puzzle of power abused and lives shattered. The scale and sophistication of these alleged crimes have left investigators stunned, raising questions about how such behavior could have gone unchecked for so long. The scale of these allegations is truly staggering. For Sean "Diddy" Combs, we're not talking about isolated incidents. The federal indictment paints a picture of systematic abuse spanning decades. Over 120 victims have come forward, each with harrowing stories of exploitation and coercion. Diddy allegedly used his immense influence in the music industry to lure young, aspiring artists into compromising situations, promising fame and success in exchange for sexual favors. But the revelations don't stop there. Mike Jeffries, the former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO, is accused of orchestrating elaborate sex parties under the guise of exclusive modeling events. These weren't just wild nights. They were meticulously planned operations. Young men were flown to luxurious locations around the world, New York, Venice, Paris, thinking they were on the cusp of a modeling breakthrough. Instead, they found themselves in Jeffries' private mansions, surrounded by staff in Abercrombie uniforms, pressured into sexual acts. One former model's account is particularly chilling. He described being led to Jeffries' Hamptons estate, where he was coerced into sexual activities while surrounded by Abercrombie-clad staff. This wasn't a one-off event. These parties allegedly continued from 2008 to 2015, creating a years-long pattern of exploitation. What's most shocking is how long these alleged crimes went unchecked. Both men operated in plain sight, their reputations seemingly shielding them from scrutiny. It took years of whispers and rumors before the full extent of these allegations came to light, leaving us to wonder how many lives were irrevocably changed in the meantime. As the dust settles, we see two titans of industry brought low by their own alleged misdeeds. Sean "Diddy" Combs, once the king of hip-hop, now sits behind bars, awaiting a trial that could strip him of everything he's built. The man who shaped the sound of a generation faces the prospect of spending the rest of his life in prison if convicted. On the other side, Mike Jeffries, the architect of Abercrombie & Fitch's provocative image, finds himself embroiled in a legal nightmare. While he's managed to secure bail, the road ahead is treacherous. Jeffries faces both civil lawsuits and criminal investigations that threaten not just his fortune, but his freedom. For both men, the consequences loom large. If found guilty, they could lose their empires, their reputations, and their liberty. It's a stark reminder that even the mightiest can fall, and that no amount of wealth or influence can shield one from justice forever. The cases of Sean Diddy Combs and Mike Jeffries serve as a stark reminder of how power and privilege can create a dangerous ecosystem of abuse. These men, at the pinnacle of their respective industries, allegedly wielded their influence not to inspire or lead, but to exploit and harm. It's a chilling testament to how unchecked authority can corrupt absolutely. But let's dig deeper. How did these alleged crimes continue for so long? The answer lies in the intricate web of money, fame, and fear. Victims often felt powerless against such influential figures, while those who might have spoken up were silenced by legal threats or financial incentives. We must question the systems that allowed this to happen. The entertainment and fashion industries, long known for their cutthroat nature, seem to have turned a blind eye to these alleged abuses. Were there warning signs that were ignored? Complaints that were buried? This isn't just about two men. It's about the cultures they operated in, the networks that supported them, and the societal structures that protected them. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about how we idolize success and wealth, often at the cost of human dignity and safety. As we move forward, we must ask ourselves, how can we create accountability at the highest levels? What safeguards can be put in place to protect the vulnerable from those with immense power? These cases may be extreme, but they highlight a pervasive issue that demands our attention and action. Now let's turn our attention to a troubling aspect of these cases that demands scrutiny. As we examine the legal proceedings against Diddy and Jeffries, a glaring disparity emerges. Mike Jeffries, accused of running an international sex trafficking ring, was granted bail at $10 million. Sean Diddy Combs, facing similar charges, offered $50 million for bail and was denied. This stark contrast forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth about our justice system. Two men, both wealthy, both facing severe allegations, yet treated fundamentally differently. Is this a coincidence or a reflection of deep-seated racial biases? Consider the implications. Jeffries, a white man, is afforded the opportunity to prepare his defense from the comfort of his home. Diddy, a black man, remains behind bars despite his immense resources. This disparity goes beyond these individual cases, pointing to a systemic issue in how our legal institutions operate. It raises critical questions about equality under the law. Are we witnessing a justice system that unconsciously, or perhaps consciously, applies different standards based on race? How many other cases, less high-profile than these, suffer from similar inequities? This troubling contrast serves as a stark reminder that even at the highest echelons of society, where wealth and influence should theoretically level the playing field, the specter of racial bias looms large. It challenges us to demand better, to scrutinize these decisions, and to work towards a truly equitable system of justice. As we wrap up today's episode, I urge you to reflect on the complex issues we've uncovered. How do wealth and fame shield the powerful from consequences? What role does race play in our justice system? These cases remind us that the world of crime is rarely black and white. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening stories that challenge our perceptions of justice and power. Until next time, stay vigilant and keep questioning. Power, Pleasure, and Pain. A study of abuse through time. This book provides a detailed examination of how sexual violence and power dynamics have manifested across different historical periods, from ancient civilizations to the modern era. It explores how figures in positions of power used their influence to manipulate and exploit others, showing that the patterns of abuse we see today have deep historical roots. Many people struggle to grasp why abuse of power, particularly sexual violence, persists in modern society. By connecting historical events with contemporary cases, the book offers crucial insights into why such behaviors remain prevalent. The book analyzes infamous cases such as those of Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and Dominique Pellicotte, drawing parallels between them and historical figures. This section highlights how the systemic abuse seen in recent times is not a new phenomenon, but part of an ongoing cultural issue. Through the lens of these modern examples, readers will gain a better understanding of how institutions, wealth, and power have historically shielded, perpetrators from justice contributing to their ability to continue harming others. The book explores the philosophy of libertarianism, particularly through the works of Marquis de Sade, to explain the disturbing ways in which pleasure, power, and cruelty have been intertwined. This provides readers with a deeper philosophical context to interpret modern-day scandals. Unlike other studies that focus solely on historical or contemporary cases, this book uniquely blends both, offering a full spectrum of how abuse is tied to power dynamics. It stands out by making philosophical connections that help readers understand the deeper societal issues at play.